Perfection. What is perfection? When is something perfect? Everybody will have different ideas about it, and where one sees perfection, the next may see nothing special at all. So what would be a perfect dropship? What would make it perfect? We have a huge size and transport capacity of the Overlord class, the awesome and terrifying firepower of a Tiamat class, the omnipresent nature and efficient design of a Union class. Are they perfect? At the end, everybody has to answer this question for themselves. But I would argue that the Conquistador class dropship is a contender for the title. Not only is it a heavy armed and armored assault dropship capable of attacking other vessels and strong points, but it is still a transporter with a tremendous capacity, which after all is the main feature of a dropship. The Conquistador dropship is a design of the AFFC that was constructed around the concept of a Regimental Combat Team, RCT, a combined arms unit that could serve as part of a bigger formation or on its own as a miniature army. The Federated Commonwealth originally used the big Fortress and Overlord class dropships to bring their RCTs on the ground. But the technological advancements after the Fourth Succession War and the clan invasion forced an update. The old models simply could not compete with all the new threats and were not capable to support the troops in the scale that the High Command wanted. It was Federated Boeing, the favorite brand of House Davian, that took the challenge to build a new command dropship. For this mission, the Conquistador class has an impressive list of features. First and foremost, it has enough cargo space to deliver a full RCT command group planet-side, which already means 2 companies of mechs and 1 full wing of aerospace fighters, plus additional vehicles, battle armor and standard infantry. Enough troops to capture a foothold or even subdue a smaller population. Secondly, it has sufficient armor and firepower to rival most dedicated assault dropships. If it should be necessary, the Conquistador class can fight its way on a planet or off a planet, while destroying enemy strongpoints and fortresses in the time between. Everything less than a true warship can be challenged by it. Third, this ship is using the most advanced technologies and computers available. It potentially even surpasses the levels reached by Star League. Once a Conquistador's cargo is on the ground, it doesn't just fly away. Federated Boeing made sure to include all the computing capability a task force commander could ever need, so that the Conquistador can function as a command post for planet-wide operations. Usually, these capabilities are more likely to be found on board of a monolith jumpship, yet here we have them in a package small enough to be brought to the battlefield itself. In addition, the cargo space of a ship can be transformed in a fully functional field hospital. This means that a single Conquistador delivers all the infrastructure to conduct a prolonged planet-wide campaign. Last, but certainly not least, is the high automation and computerization of the vessel itself. A Conquistador is a huge dropship, 182 meters long and over 17,400 tons of mass. But it can be used by a skeleton crew of only 5 officers and 16 enlisted, a crew half the size of an Overlord or Fortress, proving that this is truly a marvel of technology. The Conquistador's armament is geared towards protecting the ship and its cargo from enemy airspace fighters during planetfall and combat drops. To this end, it employs 8 LB-10 XACs, 10 rotary autocannon 5s, and 39 pulse lasers. To provide some long-range punch, the Conquistador uses a combination of Gauss rifles, ERPPCs and LRM-20s with Artemis IV fire control systems. Augmenting the armor protection are 28 anti-missile systems, split evenly to cover the fore and the aft of a ship. The Conquistador has 4 cargo bays. The first bay contains 24 mech cubicles, while the second bay contains 18 aerospace fighter cubicles. These fighters are very useful in protecting the ship during planetfall and conducting ground support operation once the ship has landed. The third bay can carry a company of tanks, 16 platoons of infantry and 20 squads of battle-armored troops. The final bay contains 700 tons of cargo. Usually this is ammunition or spare parts, but medical supplies are also popular. Variants: the Conquistador Blockade Runner. A part of the AFFS Pocket WarShip program during the Jihad, the Conquistador Blockade Runner removes the ground vehicles and mech carrying capacity and installs 10 light sub-capital cannons instead. The ERPVCs are also equipped with capacitors to increase the damage they inflict. For defense, the Conquistador Blockade Runner carries 6 laser AMS in each firing arc and is protected by 135 tons of heavy ferroaluminum armor. The aerospace fighter bays were also expanded, allowing the Blockade Runner to carry 20 fighters. To improve handling, the engines were upgraded as well. The cruising speed of a Blockade Runner is the same as the top speed of a normal Conquistador. To offset the heat of the new weapons and larger engine systems, engineers fitted an additional 70 double heatsinks into the hull. The Conquistador Avalon 1. This version of the Conquistador removes the combined arms transportation capability. Instead, the Avalon 1 carries 36 aerospace fighters in 2 bays. It also adds 2 screen launchers and 2 large lasers to provide more fire to the ship's rear. The armor has also been increased, and the Avalon 1 carries a small naval comm scanner suit. Even after the Jihad, the Conquistador-class dropship remains available. While the main factory line was damaged, Federated Boeing's shipyard in the Delavant system was able to resume production. The Conquistador will remain flying, fighting, and conquering for some time to come.